Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, it has been said that 2024 is the year that woke goes to die. We've seen a lot of disastrous dumpster fires. We've watched companies lose billions of dollars trying to push an agenda into storytelling that a lot of people had no desire to do out there in any way, shape, or form. And honestly, we've also seen some really good stuff come out of all of this as well. And one of those things out there that I think is going to absolutely prove and help reconfirm that this disastrous dumpster fire of a woke agenda is going to fail miserably, and that good, wholesome, family-friendly values always win out at the end of the day and resonate with audiences, and it's most often, especially, families as well. And that is none other than this, boys and girls. BLUEY, a show made about some Australian healers out there, a blue healer in particular, a family of blue healer families, a dad out there and a mom, a nice, well-rounded nuclear family out there with parents that love each other, that are married together with two wonderful children out there that go on all kinds of wonderful, fabulous adventures. And this is the thing about this, boys and girls. This is a show that I know my children absolutely love. I have sat down and I have watched this show with them. I think there's a great line from somebody out there who talks about the fact that, like, literally, BLUEY, the dad in BLUEY, being the guy out there, makes you want to be a better father. You wish you could be a father like him because of all of the fun things that he does with his kids, all of the fun adventures they go on, all the playtimes that they have. It's just nothing but good, wholesome values. And boys and girls, this has now been rewarded because at the end of the day, good, wholesome family values still went out number one, especially in family entertainment. And yes, this is a show that premieres on Disney, boys and girls. It streams on the Disney Plus channels out there. It streams on the Disney Plus services out there. But you can also watch quite a few of these episodes for free out there on YouTube as well. That's what my child watches. I don't have a subscription for Disney Plus for this kind of thing out there. They watch a lot of this kind of stuff. And boys and girls, this has been an amazing thing to see this get absolutely rewarded, because now, ladies and gentlemen, BLUEY is the #1 most watched show in America. Ladies and gentlemen, a show that is not even made in the United States, that does not even have, it's not even an American story, it's an Australian story with Australian actors out there, is the #1 show in America. It's not a Disney show. It's licensed by Disney, but it's not owned by Disney, and it's not produced by Disney in a way, shape, or form. And guess what? There's also no agenda in this show. And it's funny, the creators of this show have actually even pushed back against people trying to shame them into capitulating to the agenda. There was actually an episode out there where BLUEY's dad talks about the fact that he's feeling a little fat. He's been a little overweight. He needs to do something about it. The scale's looking a little heavy on him, and he needs to do something about it. He needs to get in shape. He needs to work out. He needs to start eating right. And of course, this caused your typical little meltdown that you always see out there with the agenda guide screen. Fat phobic. You can't fat shame people. And for a half a second, they almost capitulated to the mob. And then within 24 hours, they turned around and went, you know what? No, this episode is going to stand. We're not going to edit it. We're not going to review anything. We're not going to change anything. They said they'd consider it. And then they came out the next day and was like, nope, not going to happen. We're not going to happen. We're not going to censor this. This is a real life topic. It's something everybody deals with. We've all been there, especially as a parent. You all know that happens. That belly fat gets a little bit bigger. That tummy gets a little more out there. This is the kind of thing that happens. And it's a perfectly relatable story. There's so many relatable stories. And they pushed back and they did not capitulate to the mob. And guess what? That success has won out for them, because we've seen time and time again a million of these woke shows out there fail over and over again, where they try to interject this into children's television programming, where they try to push the agenda with companies like Disney, who try to do some of the nasty things that we've seen done to Transformers. All of these things have bombed time and time again. The Walt Disney Company, boys and girls, the Walt Disney Company, the pride and joy of American family entertainment, is not the #1 produced show out there. It's an Australian show about a family of blue healers that just have good family values out there. So it is now the #1 most watched series in 2024, with 35 billion minutes watched this year. 35 billion. And with this should not come as a surprise to any of us out there that cover this kind of stuff and pay attention to these numbers, because BLUEY is always #1 on the Disney Plus streaming services over and over again in the ratings. It beats out Star Wars even on their premiere days. That's why it's always original programming on all of those reports about the viewing numbers out there. Because if they didn't do just original programming from the Walt Disney Company, BLUEY would dominate their charts every single time by a large margin. It's not even close. It is not even close. A children's show meant for kids basically like under the age of 8 beats out premieres of Star Wars. Reruns of Bluey beats out premieres of Star Wars shows produced under the Walt Disney Company, boys and girls. Now, you'll probably see some spin come out there. Disney will try to probably promote this as saying it's a success for them. But this is not a Disney-produced product. This is a product. This is a television series. This is actual good storytelling, which is something Disney doesn't know how to do anymore, produced by an Australian company and licensed by the Walt Disney Company, boys and girls. There's no Disney executive inside of the story room telling them how to write their stuff, telling them, oh, you need more representation. Oh, we need to have an LGBT pride episode. No, none of that is in there. That's why this show is a success, because it sticks around basic tenets, general family values. There's even an episode in there where the dad refers to growing up in the 80s and how things were wild with no helmets running around, and how, grandma absolutely whooped our butts and got switches out and like all of that other kind of stuff, right? The 80s were a wild time, right? This is stuff that everybody can relate to. This is just basic growing up with simple morals, simple values, teaching good lessons about fair play, about getting along, about sharing without any kind of agenda behind it. And that has made it a absolute stunning success. So shout out to Bluey and all the creators involved in it. Not only did you push back, stand up, and not capitulate to the woke mob out there, you also have now proven that good, wholesome family values still resonate, even with a modern audience. And time and trusted values that have been tested time and time again, that proved true 10,000 years ago, that proved today are basic values that we can all agree on. That's what you've succeeded in doing, making a good, wholesome, family-friendly show with no agenda. Shout out to Bluey and all your success. May your house continue to grow. And like I said, boys and girls, Disney should be embarrassed. They should be ashamed of themselves. A little studio down in Australia just beat the titan, the king of family animation for 40 years, 100 years, you could argue, a century, you could argue, has been the dominant force in family entertainment, now got beat out by a little cartoon from Australia on their own streaming services, boys and girls. Shout out to Bluey. Shout out to Wholesome Values. And may the Lord hear us, and may the words go straight to his ears. May 2024 indeed be the year that woke goes to die, and more successful, wholesome, family, moral, and upstanding shows like Bluey continue to succeed. Disney, you did it to yourself, and you get exactly what you deserve.